What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am back for part 2 of our Magic the Gathering Marvel's Spider-Man Play Booster Box opening. So last time I did the first 6 packs. If you missed it, I will link it for you up in the top right-hand corner there. You should definitely go watch it. It gives context for the beginning of the box, and if you want to keep following along with what cool things we pull, that is a great, obviously the best way to start because it's how I started. But I do 6 packs per video, and we're going to talk about what we would play if this was a sealed pool of ours. So let's give it a go. We start with a Risky Research. I love the colors on this one a lot. We have Thwip. This is not a bad card either. Amazing Acrobatics, also quite nice. Spider-Gwen Free Spirit. A Spider Bot, so this is a way to help with fixing. I don't love shuffling and putting this card on top, but I will say, or putting the land on top, but I will say the Mary Jane Watson card that lets you draw a card whenever you play a spider works perfectly with this, because then you put the land on top and then you get to draw the land thanks to Mary Jane's trigger. So there is that. We have Scout the City. Web Shooters is a good uncommon, our first uncommon. We have Rhino's Rampage. Okay, this is not the best fight card removal spell in the set. There's the Lunge card or whatever it's called. But this is +1/+0 until end of turn and then it fights. Like, I don't love that as much, and that excess damage thing is very rarely going to occur. But the issue is I don't want my creature to die in this fight, and yet it often will with this card, so that's a little unfortunate. Like, if I need the removal spell, I'm going to put it in, but I'm not going to be super happy about it. And speaking of Rhino, we have Rhino Barreling Brute. It is a 7-mana 6/7 Vigilance Haste Trample, and if you've cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater the turn that it attacks, you draw a card. Notably, because he has haste and you attack, he counts himself, so you automatically would draw a card, and he has Vigilance, so he's a good blocker. It's super interesting. I mean, it's expensive, and because we're talking about sealed, I would probably put it in if we were in these colors, but you'd need to be in both red and green. I don't think that you could be splashing either of those two colors to make this card work. But, you know, as with anything that I talk about today, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. After our first 3 uncommons, we have whatever happens to be next, anything but a common. And it is... Wow, we have one of the bonus sheet cards in Mindbreak Trap. I mean, I don't think this is good enough to put in, but I'm super happy to have this card because the art is amazing. All of these arts from the bonus sheet are incredible because they are arts from the actual comics, which is why if you look at the artist, it is listed as Todd McFarlane, which is just a famous, comic book artist, because they didn't do these arts specifically for these cards. They took famous comic book art, whether it's covers or like famous panels or whatever, very iconic Spider-Man artwork, and just put it reprinted on Magic cards. So here is Mindbreak Trap. Very, very nice. I'll take as many of these. I don't mean specifically Mindbreak Traps, although fine. But I mean the bonus sheet cards, I want all of them. Like, I want one of each. They're just so cool. I'm a big comic book fan, so, more of these, please. Which means our rare or mythic is a mythic in Spider-Verse. I don't know how easy it would be to get this thing going. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you can copy it. So, like, there are some cards that make things go from other places than your hand. Notably, I guess this would be pretty good in a Mayhem deck, because then you're casting a spell from those spells from your graveyard. But a lot of those Mayhem spells want you to cast them early. That's kind of the whole point. Whereas this, you have to pay 5 mana for it. So it's a mythic. I feel like if we get a million Mayhem enablers, bunch of ways to discard cards and a bunch of cards that have Mayhem, then I would consider this, but I don't really see it, even though it's a mythic. I'm happy to have one because the art is really cool and the characters on it are great to see all together on one card, but I don't know that I would be going out of my way to play this card, in my sealed pool. Behind it, another rare or mythic, or is there a foil? Ooh, it's another mythic. Double mythic pack plus a bonus sheet card. Now this card, by the way, I absolutely would play in our sealed pool. This is Peter Parker. 1 and a white for the Peter Parker side, legendary human scientist hero, for an 0/1, but he creates a 2/1 green spider creature token with reach because, you know, he's about to be bitten by the spider but hasn't been yet. And then you can either cast him for 1 green, white, blue, or if you've already cast him for this side, you can transform him at sorcery speed into, let's flip him, Amazing Spider-Man. I don't think it's that hot of a take. I think that Ultimate Spider-Man / Miles Morales is a much better card than this one. But they are both flip mythics. There is Gwen Stacy as well into Ghost Spider, but I think Miles Morales is the best one. I think this card is fine. It's a 4/4 Vigilance Reach for 4, but it's 3 colors. And like it gives your other legends web slinging. So like for limited purposes, I have made this work, but it's, you know, it's very difficult to do, and it's not ideal. But, you know, a 4/4 Vigilance Reach for 4 is great. It's just the 3 colors that's the tough part. So I like this card, and I would probably try to make it work. White, green, blue. But if it didn't work, I wouldn't be, like, if we open a more busted mythic in the next pack and we can't play this one, I wouldn't be, like, super, super upset about it. Behind it, our foil in this pack is a Selfless Police Captain common foil. By the way, you know, obviously we talk about like, oh, what would we play in our sealed pool or whatever. If it needs to be said, like we purchased this booster box as well. And I did in the last video, if you missed it, I did ask for more value in this one. And we did just open a double mythic pack with a Mind Break Trap from the bonus sheet. So I will not look a gift horse in the mouth. I am very pleased with this pack. This pack was actually insane. So there is that. This is also a great card, by the way. If we're in white, this gets in. We have a full art mountain as well. Hell yeah. Very nice. Love the full art lands. And a treasure / spider token. I will say when we decided to purchase a play booster box as opposed to a collector booster box, the only thing, because the pull rates were very strange. If you did not get a chance to watch our big opening where I opened 12 boxes from this set, 6 play boosters and 6 collector boosters, I'll try to link that as well up in the top right-hand corner there for you. You should definitely go check it out. One, because it was a great video. I mean, the arts are incredible and the foils are awesome. But also, it does, like I said, it shows you the pull rates from play booster boxes versus collector booster boxes. And I wasn't impressed. I really wasn't. And so between the two, I decided to buy a play booster box. The price also helped. The collector booster boxes are very expensive. But regardless, I mean, it made a lot more sense in multiple ways to buy a play booster box. So I am looking for some value. I would love to get some value. So like, again, that last pack, quite nice in that regard. We start this one with a taxi driver, a subway train, another great way to splash. In fact, better than the spider, in my opinion. You can let me know your thoughts as always. Merciless Enforcers, if we want to go villains. Wild Pack Squad. I mean, it looks like we're going white, no question, right? Because we got Peter Parker. This Wild Pack Squad is an incredible card. And we just talked about, like, Selfless Police Captain is pretty good. I don't think Selfless Police Captain is what pulls us into white. Don't get me wrong. I think Peter Parker does. But anyway, we have a Whoosh. Not bad at all. I would play this card for sure. We have a Mob Lookout. Again, if we're going villains, it gets in. If we're not, it probably just doesn't. We have a Bagel and Schmear. I mean, if we're anywhere near cards that care about being modified, which if we're playing Peter Parker / Amazing Spider-Man, we are going to be near modified because modified is white-blue. And if Amazing Spider-Man is white-blue-green, then we're probably going to be near that. And so then this card would get in because you can sack it to put a counter on something and draw a card, which is great. And that would help quite a bit. So... we have a Venomized Cat. Again, if we're going villains, I would consider it. It does mill cards, which I do not like in this format. But if you need villains, this is a pretty damn good one. 3-mana, 2/3 Death Touch. Like, it's pretty great. Molten Man Inferno Incarnate is our first uncommon. I feel like, I mean, if we're red and X, like 2 colors, and one of them is red, I would put this guy in almost no matter what. If we're not, if we're like if we're 3 colors and one of them is red, I would have to consider it. I mean, you'd have to count how many mountains you have. this guy is at minimum a 1/1, but also if you're like using any dual lands, there's a chance that like you play this guy and he's just dead. I guess you could get a mountain, so I lied. He would be at least a 1/1, but like 3 mana for a 1/1 ain't great. So yeah, anyway. And then you have to sack a land later. So yeah, in a 2-color red deck, I would take this or play this, but otherwise I'm not so sure. All right, here's another great card for a villains deck, Vulture Scheming Scavenger. Now, notably, we could cast this for blue instead of black, and so then theoretically it could go in the Amazing Spider-Man deck, but like it cares about villains. So, and with Amazing Spider-Man, I keep saying red, white, blue, green, this would not go. So like, even though we could play it for blue, I probably would not get in just because we were playing Amazing Spider-Man with blue. But anyway, our next uncommon is Spider's Man, Heroic Horde. I would probably play this one. It does talk about web slinging. This is legendary, so it does work with Amazing Spider-Man, where you could web sling this in for 3 instead of 6, which is not bad, because it does say if they were cast using web slinging, so it would actually help with this one, Spider's Man, because then you could just do it for 3 instead of, like I said, 3 mana instead of 6. It's just that it's 3 different colors, but I mean, if you have some reliable ways of getting all 3 colors, that could help quite a bit. So there's some magical Christmas land for you. Why not? I mean, they both go in the same deck for sure. And so after our third uncommon, our next card is a rare in Electro Assaulting Battery. Notably a villain. This card is very good though. Not losing red mana as steps and phases end, meaning that like at the end of your opponent's turn, you can just tap, add a bunch of red, and it just keeps sitting there. And then if and when this card dies, you just pay all that red plus any extra mana that you want to deal that much damage to your opponent. Like, seems like a really good card, especially like a 3 mana 2/3 on curve with flying seems really good regardless. So that's tough. I guess we should be at least looking at red a little bit as well. This card's very, very good. A foil behind it? Yes, we have a foil uncommon in Wall Crawl. Notably, very good with Spider's Man and Amazing Spider-Man / Peter Parker, although notably Peter Parker, I mean, he does enter making a spider, so it helps with this. But otherwise, you know, you want him to be on the Amazing Spider-Man side so that he gets the +1/+1 from this. Like, not being able to be blocked by creatures with Defender isn't as big of a deal, I don't think, and most people probably don't think, in Limited at least. But still, Wall Crawl, not bad at all. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but here we are. We have a Full Art Swamp, very nice. Not a lot of help with fixing, but again, out of the booster box, very nice to be getting some Full Art lands, some Full Art basics, I like it. And we have a Treasure / Human Citizen token. Okay, again, we're opening 6 packs. It's, if you weren't here last time, it's just 2 rows, right? I'm going to do the first 3 here and the next 3 here. So this is the third, so this is the end of the first row for this video. We start with a Kapow, absolutely gets in. Great, great, great card. This was the one that's Lunge. It's Lunge on Arena. I'm so mad. I like the names for Omen, for whatever. It's just super annoying. The Omen Paths one. We have Venom Evil Unleashed. Great card. If we're doing the villains deck, totally would get in. Absolutely love it. Instead, what's actually going to get in if we're doing Amazing Spider-Man is Web Up. This card is phenomenal. Absolutely great. Definitely gets in. Mysterio's Phantasm, if we're doing villains, still only just gets in, but we're probably not doing villains, so it doesn't right now get in. Angry Rabble, if we're in red, sure, but I'm not in love with this card. Like, it's fine. Craven's Cats. Even if we're doing Amazing Spider-Man, where we would be doing, like, it looks like right now, heavy green, white, and then maybe splash blue, I still don't know that I would put this card in. Like, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. Card's fine. If we need 2 drops, it gets in. Otherwise, it doesn't. It is very incongruous as a villain in green, whereas the villain's deck is blue and black. So it's a little bit awkward in that regard. We have Spider Islanders. I would say this one probably gets in. 4 mana, 4/3 is fine. Are we going to get to Mayhem it? Probably not very often. It is not legendary, so it doesn't really work with Amazing Spider-Man. Why did I say this gets in? It's red. Silly me. I'm like looking at all these other red rares. If we're in red, that maybe this gets in, but if we're playing just Amazing Spider-Man and just those 3 colors, it doesn't get in. My bad. We do have Hot Dog Cart, which we probably would play. It's a 3-mana artifact that taps for 1 mana of any color. So if we're 1 color off of Amazing Spider-Man, we play this on turn 3, and on turn 4 we can guarantee being able to hit Amazing Spider-Man, hopefully. So that's pretty damn good. Plus, it makes a food. Why not? Scorpion, Seething Striker. I mean, this one's pretty good. If a creature died this turn, one of your creatures connives, which is, you know, draw, discard. It's got Death Touch. It's a 3/3. Like, very, very good card. I would, again, if we're in villains, this gets in. Kind of otherwise, it doesn't. But that's our first uncommon. Great card. Damage Control Crew probably gets in. So I'm a fan of that. And then, yeah, I mean, like the first ability is fine. Returning a creature or a card, excuse me, with mana value 4 or greater from our graveyard to our hand. We're going to have those. So why not? And then otherwise, incidentally exiling an artifact or an enchantment, notably. I've mentioned it before, and I've experienced it a lot. It is very difficult to get rid of enchantments in this format. Very, very difficult. So I don't even think this needs to be a sideboard card, because you're probably going to have cards with mana value 4 or greater. So even if you don't have to use the artifact or enchantment clause, you still have a way of using this to pretty good effect. And then it leaves behind a 4-mana 3/3, which is not bad at all. So there's that, and that's our second uncommon. And Chameleon, Master of Disguise. So I talked about this, I think, in the last video, but at least in one of our videos. Because his name is Chameleon, Master of Disguise, even after he copies something, he can come in as a copy of a legend, like Amazing Spider-Man or something similar. But his name will be different. His name will be Chameleon, Master of Disguise. So it doesn't it doesn't bother the legend rule where you would then have to sacrifice one of them. So, I mean, he's literally holding Spider-Man's mask, right? So it would, you know, Magical Christmas Land and all that. That seems pretty cool. The Mayhem cost, again, in this deck that we're looking at right now, probably doesn't get paid, but still, not a problem. I mean, 4 mana to make another 4/4 Vigilance Reach seems pretty good, or web slinging this in seems pretty great as well. Okay, behind Chameleon, our next card is a rare in Parker Luck. This card is very bad. I'm very much not a fan at all of this card. You play it and then your opponent gets the first crack at the card. Like, unless you, like, the only way that this card is good, and it doesn't, you would never put it in your deck, but the only way that this card is good is if you know that your top card is like very expensive and then your opponent is going to die when you reveal it. But like, that's like such a win more. And again, Magical Christmas Land, there's no way I would put this card in my deck. I just feel like it's very, very bad. Behind it, our foil, though, is another Venom Evil Unleashed. Obviously, again, this one is now foil. And the foiling looks very good. Very interesting on that foil. I like that. Okay. Cool. Behind Venom, our land, finally, is an Ominous Assault. Could help us to splash, not in the deck that we're looking at right now. In fact, it's the 2 colors that we would not be in if we were playing Amazing Spider-Man. But we have been looking at red, so like if we're leaning towards red in any capacity, if we like open like a really busted red and or black card, then this could get in to help us splash for some stuff. So there you go. And or just in general cast our spells. We have a Treasure and a Human Citizen as well. Okay, that was, like I said, that was row 1. We're on to row 2 with pack number 4. Halfway done with this video already. We start with a Passenger Ferry. I do not love this card. I mean, I love what it depicts because, you know, I'm a New Yorker myself, but, and I have taken the Staten Island Ferry. Not often. My parents probably have more. They grew up in the boroughs, but I did not. I grew up in the suburbs. Then we have Electro's Bolt. If we're in red, gets in. Very, very good card. Even without Mayhem, still totally fine. We have Spider-Rex Daring Dino. If we're playing Spider-Man, it gets in. It is legendary, so you could web sling this in for 3 mana instead of playing it for 6, and it's a Reach Trample Ward 2, which is very, very nice. We have a Common Crook. If we're playing villains, it gets in. If we're not, it doesn't. City Pigeon gets in if we're playing Spider-Man. This is a very good card that helps a lot with web slinging, because if you play this on turn 1 and you attack with this, like we haven't seen it yet, but there's the Spider-Man that's like 2 and a white for a 3/3, or you can web sling it for a white. And that's very good on turn 2 because you can like bounce the City Pigeon back to your hand after you've attacked with it, play a 3/3 on turn 2, and then if you're playing double white somehow, you can just replay the City Pigeon as well. Seems really great. And when it leaves, you make a food. So like every time you web sling it away, you get a food, and then you just get to replay it and make another food again later. We have another Spider Islanders. We already talked about this one, even though I messed up saying that I would play it in Amazing Spider-Man deck. Here is Skyward Spider. We would absolutely play this one with Amazing Spider-Man / Peter Parker. So this one gets in. Hot Dog Cart again. I don't think I would go above 2 Hot Dog Carts. Especially, even though we're going 3 colors, I feel like there are other ways, like we had the subway train or whatever earlier, that could help us to splash. We even have technically the spider bot or whatever, and we have like Wall Crawl that cares about us having spiders. So if we have some other cards that care about spiders, I could maybe justify that. But yeah, this, like I said, more than 2 hot dog carts feels a little bad. So maybe I would play the second one. I would definitely play at least the first one though. We have Spider Slayer, Hatred Honed. I'm not a big fan of this one. I mean, even in the villains deck, I'm not in love with this guy. It's an uncommon. Whenever it deals damage to a spider, destroy that creature. And then for 6, we can exile it from our graveyard to make 2 tapped 1/1 robots with flying. Again, I'm just not in love with it. If you have different opinions, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe it's just insane and I'm just not aware. Then we have Aunt May. Very nice. Whenever another creature we control enters, we gain a life. If it's a spider, it gets a counter on it. There's more cards that care about spiders. Thank you, Aunt May. And it's when it enters, when another creature you control enters, not when you cast it. So the making tokens when Peter Parker enters, and then it makes a spider token. That spider token gets a counter, and then Peter would gain you. They would both gain you a life. So Aunt May, an incredible, incredible card. Super happy to have that. And then Costume Closet also gets in. We talked about, possibly having modified things. And this literally says whenever a modified creature you control leaves the battlefield. So again, that's with web slinging as well. You put a +1/+1 counter on this artifact. That's wonderful. And then you can move counters off of this onto other things. Obviously, the art is incredible. I'm super happy to see all the different suits. I think I named some last time or in one of the videos. Maybe it was the pre-release kit opening that we did. Whatever it was. But yeah, the flavor of this for comic fans and the Easter eggs that are here is just wonderful. So there's that. Behind Costume Closet, our next card after our 3 uncommons is a rare in Rent is Due. I don't see this happening as a thing. I'm just not a fan. It's on your end step, so you don't even get to web sling with it, right? Even though it's in colors that spiders would be in, including Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, etc. And it means you don't get to block. You don't have blockers because you're drawing a single card by tapping 2 creatures, technically, or treasure. But have we seen a lot of cards that are going to make treasure? No, not really. I just don't see this in limited at all. It's I feel like this and Parker Luck, that's our Parker Luck, is opening these 2 in the same couple of packs. Very, very strange. No, thank you. Our foil is a foil common again in Merciless Enforcers. We got a foil black common in Venom Unleashed last time too, so not a bad foiling pattern, at least in the background. Not bad at all. Our land is a regular forest. At least the basics have Spider-Man swinging around in the background there. That's kind of cool. The non-full arts. Obviously the full arts are incredible with the webbing. And then for purposes of trying to build a sealed deck, I'd rather have dual lands. But again, out of value purposes, I'm happy to have all different kinds of lands out of this box. So we have a treasure / human citizen as well. All right, 2 more packs to go in this video. Obviously, folks, stay tuned for the rest of this box. We're going to be opening, doing 1 video every week until this thing is done. So please make sure, if you don't want to miss out, that you subscribe and ring that bell so you get those notifications when those next videos come out. We have a Taxi Driver. I'm not a big fan of this card. I'm just not. Another Merciless Enforcers. Another Wild Pack Squad. That I'm a big fan of. Great, great card. Another Whoosh. Again, the last one got in, this one gets in. Angry Rabble again, looking at a lot of dupes here. Vibrant Cityscape would absolutely get in as far as I'm concerned. Again, splashing a 3rd color, instead of doing some more of the janky stuff like Spider Bot or Subway Train, we probably would still do both of those, to be honest. But this helps too, especially if we wanted to put some more blue cards in. This is a great way to do that. So here is Vibrant Cityscape to help us with that. We have a Masked Meower. I'm not a big fan of this card personally. I mean, like, it's fine, and it obviously helps in the Mayhem deck, but like, I don't know. I haven't seen it used to very, very good effect. It's fine. We have a Living Brain Mechanical Marvel as our first uncommon. I am not a big fan of this card either. You know, we've had a couple of cards now talk about like, hey, make treasures and stuff, but like, how are we making treasure? Like, this would abuse that. You'd be able to make one of your treasures into a 3/3, but I don't know. I just don't think so. I don't think this card is it. We have a Shriek Treble Maker. Again, the two colors that we're not in when if we're trying to play Amazing Spider-Man. It's a mutant villain, so that is relevant. I mean, this card is fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it, to be completely honest. But it's our second uncommon. And we have Spider piloted by Penny, which absolutely gets in. Absolutely gets in. Talks about having modified creatures, and we get to, if we hit them, we draw a card with a modified creature. Very, very nice. She is legendary, or they are legendary, and so we could absolutely web sling them in for 3 instead of 5. Not bad at all. And that is something of note. And so behind our third uncommon, we have a Hide on the Ceiling. I'm not so sure. I would have to look at, especially in this deck, like, it feels like this is the deck that should want this card, but I would have to look at all of our Enter the Battlefield effects, right? Because if you exile all your things, and you can exile some of your opponent's things too, so if they have like incidental tokens or whatever, you can just get rid of them forever, or if they've put auras or equipments on things, you can blink those as well, because it's X, so you can tap as much as you want for X, and then choose your own things, like Spider piloted by Penny that we just got, and when it enters, you put a counter on a creature. So if you're not putting it on itself, you know, or notably, if it's modified and it leaves and you have Costume Closet out, right? Costume Closet gets a bunch of +1/+1 counters. So there are absolutely ways of abusing this, but I could see you ending up having to cut this. I think this is a fine card, though. I would probably put it in. I think with what we're doing so far, this could work quite nicely. And our foil? No, not a foil. Peter Parker's Camera. This, on the other hand, I probably would not put in, despite the fact that it's arguably a rare that's in our colors that we could play. I'll just put it over here with the rent is due. But I like the flavor of this card. I just don't. I don't think it's worth the 1 mana to play it with 3 film counters and then 2 to tap it and do the thing. I just, like I said, I don't really see it. So, but again, happy to have one at least. Now our foil. Yes, is a foil common in Daily Bugle Reporters. I mean, not for nothing, right? I would look to see how many creatures with mana value 2 or less we had, but even if we don't have a ton, you get to put a counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Like, this card gets in. This is great. I like this one a lot. Again, talking about working with modified creatures, this modifies 2 creatures. It could be itself and another, but still modifies 2 creatures, and I love it. We then have a foil in our land slot in Suburban Sanctuary. It helps us because it is 2 of our 3 colors, so it gets in no question. And it's foil, which means, you know, even better, you bling out the deck a little bit. Why not? And then we finish off with a treasure/spider token. Okay, last pack of this video. Notably, 1 pack in this one with high value, otherwise not. So interesting. Let's see what this last pack has in store for us. Otherwise, the rest of these packs, the rest of these videos really got to pick it up. I mean, 2 mythics is great, and 1 bonus sheet card is great, but I mean, come on, a little bit more, please. We have another Merciless Enforcers. That's a lot of these. Ooh, second web up. Thank God. Okay, that's nice. That gets in. Another Mysterio's Phantasm. Another Angry Rabble. That's a 3rd one of these as well, I think. Second Craven's Cats. Another Spider Bot. I don't think I would put in the second Spider Bot, especially if we're doing Subway Train, and we also have the, whatever it's called, the Vibrant Cityscape. Thank you. I thanked myself there. Spider Manifestation. This gets in. It's a spider. It has reach. It taps for red or green, but really it just taps for green. And if you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, you get to untap it. Like, it benefits, it's a spider, so it benefits from all the other things that spiders benefit from, like wall crawl and stuff like that. Gets a +1/+1 counter from Aunt May. Absolutely incredible card, no question. Love this. Ooh, very nice pickup. Ezekiel Sims' Spider Totem. It is also, or he is also, a spider human advisor, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, one of your spiders gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Yes, please. No question gets in. Absolutely incredible. Love this guy. We have a sudden strike also gets in. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature. And that's our second uncommon. Wow, really, really good stuff in this last pack. And the Spots Portal, while it's not going to get into the deck that we're trying to play right now, it is an incredible card. Absolutely an incredible card. Love it. In the villains deck, it's obviously choice. And honestly, it can go in any black deck, even if you have like 1 or 2 villains in it. Like, you know, maybe you lose 2 life, but you're getting rid of one of their creatures basically for good. And behind our third uncommon, we have our rare in Lady Octopus Inspired Inventor. Not a big fan of this card. Definitely not getting into this deck, even though it is blue and we could cast it in the deck. I don't think we're going to, but still cares about artifacts. It's very difficult to make work. So no, thank you. Behind it, our foil. No, we have a rocket-powered Goblin Glider. Notably has Mayhem of 2 to cast it. So it'd be 2 to cast, 2 to equip. But actually, it would automatically equip from your graveyard, attach it to target creature you control. We're probably not going to be Mayheming it, but I would still consider playing this. 3 mana for the equipment, 2 mana to equip it, +2/+0, flying and haste. So like anything that you play late game, just pay an additional 2 mana, put this on it, and then it gets to immediately attack. Like, seems very, very good. Plus, it's an equipment, so it automatically modifies whatever it's attached to. Seems great. I would absolutely play this for sure. And behind it, now our foil. Also a card that gets in. Foil Unstable Experiment. First of all, insane how that Unstable Experiment looks in foil. Absolutely incredible. Love, love, love that. So yes, and like I said, definitely gets in. Like, it draws you a card, and then you draw a card and discard a card for connive purposes. So good. Ooh, and then a foil Ominous Asylum. I will say, the regular Ominous Asylum art looks foil on its own. I'm not in love with how this looks in foil, though. It's a little dark. A little dark. Okay, well, still not bad. I'm happy to have one of these in foil. That's pretty cool. And we have a Spider/Illusion Villain. Well, we opened it pretty early on, and that pack that we opened it in was insane, but I am absolutely playing at least in my opinion. Obviously, I want to know your thoughts, especially if you disagree. I'm playing Peter Parker/Amazing Spider-Man. What a cool card. Happy to have gotten it in a double mythic pack with Spider-Verse, as well as a Mindbreak Trap from the bonus sheet. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I really hope everybody enjoyed. I want to know your thoughts about anything and everything that we talked about today in the comments down below. Come join us on stream. We are playing through the Omen Paths on Arena every single Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. We would love to have you. Please don't forget, like I mentioned, if you subscribe and ring the bell, you'll get notifications whenever any of our videos come out and or whenever we go live, so you don't have to memorize what our start time is. If you're watching this on Tuesday and you're like, how am I going to remember till next Monday? You're not. Don't worry about it. You don't have to. You can subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll get those notifications. We also have 2 other channels. Links in the description down below. In fact, there are lots of links down there. But you've got links to our Video Games for All channel and our Gluten-Free for All channel. If you're interested in those, we would love to have you join us there. We also have links to our community Discord. Totally free to join. We'd love to have you there as well. Come chat with us about any and all types of things, video games, Magic the Gathering, Spider-Man in general. Whatever you want to come join us and talk about. And then last but not least, we would love it if you would consider supporting us on Patreon. Thank you all so very much for watching. I really hope everybody enjoyed. And for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I've been Joe. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.